So I don't know how to tell you guys everything that I know, besides to show you some of the things that I've looked into. So these are the people that learned how to brainwash people in mass, okay? I know it sounds crazy. Just bear with me, okay? If you look into what these people are known for and what was alleged against them, it makes sense. I'm not even going to attempt reading off these names, so just take this moment to consider this. In January of 2021, following the January 6th performance put on by the FBI, Donald Trump was banned off of YouTube, Snapchat, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Ask yourself, why would anybody want to silence someone from telling their side of the story? Who do you think benefits from the American people getting secondhand information rather than hearing it directly from the president himself? And why would you, now that the media has everyone convinced that all he does is lie? Whittaker Chambers was the man who brought a list of alleged communists before Congress. In August 1948, he testified under subpoena before the House of Un-American Activities Committee, a congressional committee, and provided a list of names of individuals he claimed were members of an underground Communist Party Wehr group in Washington, D.C. during the 1930s. This included about a dozen prominent figures from Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal administration, such as Alger Hiss, whatever, all these people. Many worked in agencies like the Agricultural Adjustment Administration and the Department of State. Chambers, a former Communist Party member and Soviet spy who had defected in 1938, accused them of being part of a communist cell, but initially stopped short of espionage claims. His testimony stemmed from earlier private disclosures in 1939 to Assistant Secretary of State Adolf A. Burley about Soviet infiltration. When Hiss denied knowing Chambers or any communist ties, it sparked a high-profile confrontation leading to Hiss' perjury indictment. Later, under HUAC subpoena during Hiss's libel suit against him, Chambers produced additional evidence, the Pumpkin Papers, microfilm strips hidden in a hollowed-out pumpkin in his Maryland farm, containing 65 typewritten copies of classified State Department documents and 4 notes in Hiss's handwriting. Their purported goal was to gather intelligence, influence policy, and advance Soviet interests by placing loyal communists in key positions. Whittaker Chambers claimed that the Wehr Group and individuals like Alger Hiss achieved communist infiltration and espionage in the U.S. government through a combination of secretive organizational tactics, targeted recruitment, strategic placement in key positions, and covert handling of sensitive materials. These methods were designed to embed loyal communists in influential roles while minimizing detection, evolving from initial infiltration to achieve intelligence gatherings. Below are some of the primary ways he described. If the government has been putting people in certain roles since the 1930s, I have no doubt that they have mastered manipulating us into whatever they want us to do or believe. They've definitely gotten this figured out. They don't want us to know that it's them keeping us all divided, because then we would turn on them. That's what they can't afford to happen. During the 1930s, particularly under the Popular Front strategy adopted by the Communist Party USA, starting in 1935, the party's public-facing message was carefully crafted to portray communists as patriotic reformers and staunch defenders of American democracy rather than subversive revolutionaries. This approach, directed by this place, shifted them away from earlier militant rhetoric towards broad allies with liberals, socialists, trade unions, and even moderate conservatives, all under the banner of uniting against fascism. By emphasizing themes like anti-Nazism, support for President Franklin D. Roosevelt New Deal programs, civil liberties, racial equity, and workers' rights, the CPUSA blended into the mainstream progressive movement of the era. This made their members appear as idealistic public servants or activists advancing social justice, obscuring the parallel underground operations like the Wehr Group's compartmentalized cells, recruitment, and espionage. Key elements of this public facade included patriotic and pro-democratic slogans. The CPUSA promoted phrases like "communism is the Americanism of the 20th century" in pamphlets and rallies, wrapping Marxist ideas in symbols of U.S. independence and exceptionalism to appeal to everyday Americans disillusioned by the Great Depression. This messaging framed communism as the true heirs to American ideals, not foreign agents undermining them. anti-fascist unity campaigns, public events, leaflets, and speeches hammered home all out against fascism, linking communism to the fight against Hitler and Mussolini, while downplaying any revolutionary intent. The CPUSA organized massive rallies such as the 1939 Madison Square Garden event drawing 20,000 attendees, where they shared platforms with liberals and celebrities, fostering an image of inclusive patriotism. This distracted from internal oaths of loyalty to the Soviet Union by focusing on a common enemy. Front organizations to cover. To further mass control, the CPUSA created or infiltrated front groups, seemingly independent entities like the American League for Peace and Democracy, or the Joint Anti-Fascist Refugees Committee that attracted non-communist sympathizers without requiring party membership. Those groups lobbied for causes like unemployment relief, anti-lynching laws, and Spanish Civil War aid, allowing underground operatives to network and recruit under the guise of humanitarian work. Whittaker Chambers himself highlighted this duality in his accounts, noting how the open CPUSA's imaginative, flexible program of alliances enabled the underground to operate undetected by presenting the party as a force for unity and progress. To regular Americans, factory workers, intellectuals, or government clerks, this meant seeing communists as allies in the struggle against poverty and prejudice, not a hidden threat siphoning secrets via couriers and microfilm. The facade crumbled publicly only after the 1939 Nazi-Soviet pact exposed the tactical nature of the Popular Front, but by then, much of the infiltration was entrenched. So this right here is, I had asked if there were any similarities between what's been going on now and the 1933 rally in Madison Square Garden or whatever. And that's apparently there were a few similarities. I want to make this as clear as humanly possible. I will never, ever drop a friendship or any sort of relationship with anybody over their feelings on Trump. That is, your feelings about him is nothing to me. I just want people